I think I am live. Yes, I am. I see a live. Here it is. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to get started here. This is Yolantis, your website mentor. Are you a solopreneur or an artist running your own website? Well, I don't want to run your website for you or build it for you. I do want to teach you how to build your site with accessibility and usability in mind. What's that, you ask? It's where you plan and build a digital content for people with differing abilities to be able to access your content equally. I've been building websites as a career since 2020 and working with accessibility standards since 2011. And today's quick tip is learning how to discover what kind of headings are on your website. So we're continuing. I did 2 already on headings. So this is my website. I have several. It's yolantisart.com. Here's my website mentor page. I've been talking about accessibility for a lot of years now and training people how to put content on the web. So here it is, an example post. This is another one of my sites, howtoworkontheweb.com. I have a blog post from the summer, and we're going to find out what kind of headings these are. See, they look the same. Let's see what they are. There's a couple of ways to do it. The first way is to inspect. Any of your tools, any of your browser tools have an inspect panel. When you right click, that's a contextual click, and you go down to inspect, which is usually near the bottom of the list. It will do things to your content, and it'll pop up this sidebar, and you can then twirl open the twirlies to discover, what you're looking at. So I've got a arrow in this browser, and I can point. I can use it to point. So I've pointed, and in the code I can see an H2. And I've taught you before that H1, H2, H3, those mean heading levels. And we want these heading levels to be like an outline on our page. There should be one H1 on our page and as many H2s as you want. The H3s will be related to the H2 above it. Okay, so when you inspect in this way, you can see, like, oh, I can see that in that popover that it's an H2. This is, let's see, I believe this one is WordPress, and then this one also WordPress. If I were to right click, inspect, take a look at the heading with my arrow, I've got an H1. So the title of the page is Website Mentor. Let's see if I've chunked the content. There it is. I can see it's an H2, and I can't point exactly to what's on the screen, but I'm hovering over the heading, how to work on the web, and I see an overlay that says H2 dot and then the class name. Also, in the sidebar, I can see in the code, in the elements pane, that the H2 line is lit up, so I can be confident that that's really a heading and not like a 18-point bold masquerading as a heading. Okay. One thing I want to show you is this wave evaluation toolbar. It's an extension, so you go to search your extensions and you search for wave evaluation tool. This button will say add to Chrome. I've already added it, and then you can actually use it. I'm going to stop the inspect tool, and now I'm going to find the wave toolbar. If you can't find it, it's because it's not pinned. Once you add it to your browser, you click a puzzle piece, and of course we're in December 2023. Browsers could look different in the future. Then you use the pin to get your little icon up here pinned to the top. So I clicked the pin icon. So I'm going to hit W. I hit the browser toolbar, and it gives me information. It says there's 0 errors on this page. There's 1 contrast error. There's 14 alerts, and then the rest is informational. So structural elements, features, and ARIA. ARIA is more advanced. We're not going to touch on it today. if you had an error on the page, if this said 1, you would slide over the tabs, you would go to the details to find out what it was. Then here I can see I have a contrast error. I had looked at this yesterday and I was like, well, I think that this is moot and I don't need to worry about this particular contrast error. It is my white words over the raster image in my heading, in my banner image. Not much I can do there because the bot that is inspecting the page to make this toolbar doesn't know what color the image is. Okay, let's see if I can find a error. I made you a mock website for this demonstration. Now, anybody who has a Google account can make a Google website. And so I've done this just a second ago. I went to Google's homepage, sites.google.com's homepage, and I picked a template. This template was called Portfolio, and then I just started, putting things on it. So I've got 3 pages. This is all baked in. It's all templated text. I'm going to maybe wave toolbar this to find out what we've got going on with this out-of-the-box web page. Oh dear, I hadn't looked at this before. We have 8 errors. To see what they are, we go to the details page and it gives you icons, and you have to do this matching game, right? So you match the icon on the error to what's displayed on the page to try to find out what it's talking about. Empty heading is very common. I see empty heading in these builders all the time, and it happens by mistake. You have to go investigate. Sometimes you put a space or a paragraph and it accidentally gets a heading tag applied to it. It spawns an error in an audit. Broken ARIA reference, it's going to give you exactly what's wrong with the page. It says missing alternative text. I know I'm focusing on headings today, but alt text is that number 2 important thing. Oh dear. But I don't know which image it is. Okay, so to make this toolbar go away, you click the icon in the pinned extensions again, and it goes away. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to show you, really. Let's see. It is super informational. I mean, it is super important to test your content yourself. If you're like a solopreneur, you're doing this yourself, you don't have anybody to have eyes on your website for you and give you that feedback, because when you can fix errors that are spawned by tools like the Wave tool, the errors are spawned by your website. The errors are discovered to displayed to you from these kind of evaluation toolbars. This is a first low-level step for you to inspect your site. There's a little bit of tutorials on how to use it, but like you saw, when there was 8 errors on the page, it's a little harder to discern what is causing what error. But it's important info, and you can clean up that the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, by using a tool such as this. If it says you have an empty heading and all you have to do is hit the backspace and then hit a paragraph again, that's 1 error less on your content. Okay, have I gone long enough? How long have I gone? Let's see. Oh, one more tip. Sorry. If you're logged in, so say, okay, here I'm working on my portfolio website, and I'm going to say test, and I want to know if that text change has applied. Google auto saves for you. It gives you this alert that says all changes saved in Drive, and I want to see it where I'm not logged in, and I want to see what somebody else sees it, once I hit publish. So I publish it. Oops, I've never published this, and it tells me what changed. So I'm like, okay, I can review. So now I think it did this change last year. Actually, I remember when this happened, when they gave you a side-by-side comparison and when you're changing your page. I'm like, okay, that's good. So now what I was going to show you is how to do a incognito window. So I'm in Chrome. Number one, you could like open Firefox where you're not logged into your Google account and look at your site in Firefox. You would have to know the URL of it. I'm still working on this. I had no idea what the URL of this is. So I'm going to open a incognito, and you can tell it's incognito. That means I am not logged in to anything on this. And I don't know if this is actually like the link. Let me see if I can get the link. Publish. This might slow me down on a demo, live demo, because I get this preview window, but I'm logged in. See, when I click the little icon of a computer, I can see it, but I can also preview it on a phone, and I can preview it at different widths to see if my stacking order is right and my responsiveness is right. But let's see, you know, if I use this URL, the long string, that is for when I'm logged in, but I've got to discover what the published link is. Let's see if I got it. View published site. Oh yeah, there it is. Yolantis -demo. Okay, so I'm copying it with a Control C on my keyboard, and I'm gonna I've already lost my incog. Here it is. Incognito. Paste that. See what it looks like. Okay. And this is how you can have two browser windows open at once, and you can work on your content and then look at your content at how your users are going to see it instead of how you see it when you're logged in. So there I know that my newest change has applied, and I'm confident, and then I can go about my day. If it didn't show up, I would know that something happened with the save or something went wrong, and I could go back and troubleshoot. And that's, of course, just a boring example. Okay, I think I've talked long enough today. I taught you some tips and tricks, and let's see, how do I stop this? Stop.